What is up, my friends? Manny here. Welcome back to another epic-sode, as I call it. Today I'd like to quickly address a frequently discussed topic in the climbing community, namely how difficulty increases on the grade ladder. It seems to be a common notion these days that as you climb up the grade ladder, like a, psyched just graduated mathematics PhD, new grades become always so much more difficult to wrestle down. I've heard people say numerous times that while grades increase linearly, difficulty increases exponentially. But this is actually the case. Well, the short but relatively true answer, spoiler alert pretty much, is no. Of course, I can only speak for that part of the grade ladder I have experience with, which is up to 9A, although I haven't sent 9A yet, but I checked the grade out and there's still no exponential increase in difficulty detectable. Who knows, maybe it goes exponential after 9A, but I doubt it, to be honest. In my experience, difficulty increases linearly, as parallel with the grades as modern parallel computing, with maybe a little blurriness at full grades like 7A, 8A and 9A, because these grades just sound good and are therefore given a bit more often than they should probably. But all in all, when I look back on all the various grades I climbed already, I see a pretty much linear slope. This raises the question, where does this notion of exponential increase of difficulty come from? So let's play detective for a bit. Likewise, to many other climbing related topics, the answer is simply climbing is a very genetic and starting age dependent sport. All climbers are equipped with a certain setup, including starting age and genetics, physical stuff like reach, performance, body weight, ability to gain finger strength and so on, but also mental stuff like confidence, intelligence, sequence memory and whatnot, all of which lets them accomplish a certain grade quite comfortably, while beyond that it will get a lot harder and new grades will require disproportionately more effort than before. Essentially, your starting age and genetic setup determines your quote-unquote set point, as I call it, on the grade ladder. Might it be 7A, 8A or 9A or something in between, which doesn't mean that you cannot also climb harder, but it means that climbing harder than this will require disproportionately more effort than anything below your set point. Damn, today I'm going full vocabulary spelling competition winner nerd. Anyway, of course this creates the impression that difficulty increases exponentially, because any higher grade requires just so much more effort to accomplish, overlooking though that you're operating beyond your set point already. A good way to disprove the exponentiality hypothesis, as I call it now, is to imagine difficulty over grade graphs of climbers with different set points. Say climber A gets quite conveniently to 7A, while climber B gets conveniently to 8A. Climber A will say, man, it's crazy, everything beyond 7A is just so much harder, difficulty increases exponentially after 7A. While climber B will say, man, it's crazy, everything beyond 8A is just so much harder, difficulty increases exponentially after 8A. When asking climber B though about his experience up until 8A, he will likely illustrate a linear experience with difficulty, disagreeing with climber A. It can't be both, right? So the truth is that difficulty is linear all the way, just like the grades, while it's different genetic set points which lead to belief in exponential difficulty increases. You can only really see this though if you're quite high up on the grade ladder in general, because then only a little proportion of the ladder is up in the dark and the much greater proportion is well lit and clear down below. I remember believing in exponential difficulty increases myself when I still operated in the 8A to 8B region, route climbing that is, which gives a good indication about my personal set point, by the way. Now, having sent my first 8C+ and looking back, I can clearly see it was linear all the way, and it very likely is linear from here onwards. Which leads me to another reason why the exponentiality hypothesis is quite popular. Not a lot of climbers actually climb far beyond their genetic set point, obviously because it takes a lot of time, effort and motivation to do that, which not everyone wants to spend on the sport. Therefore, not a lot of climbers actually made the experience that even beyond their genetic set point, grades and difficulty in fact display a linear relationship. Also, the people who uncovered the full grade ladder and therefore have a good perspective on the thing are incredibly few compared to the rest of us noobs who still operate down in the dark somewhere, so to say. Anyway, that's my view on the subject. Let me know your opinion and experience down below and drop a like because it's cool and appreciated. And thank you for your attention. I'll see you soon in the next one. Keep crushing. Bye.